Hey guys, it's Eric from GameShampoo.com. I've got the last two of the Gatecrash Magic the Gathering decks here. Obviously, I've opened the tops already and checked out the booster packs after getting the Planeswalker in the last one. And so, gonna unbox these two. Started this earlier this week, unboxing the other three, the Orzhov, Boros, and Dimir decks, and I've got the Simic and the Gruul decks left over. So the colors I think are what, green and red and blue and green. So I'm gonna unbox both of these. I was gonna do it a little bit earlier, but caught up in writing news and all that stuff. So got a bit of a free period now, and I think I'm gonna start with Simic and then do the Gruul one in the next video. So got the booster packs, and then as usual, got the Magic the Gathering big pamphlet thing that comes in every deck. Tells you how to get started, shows you kind of like the proper setup for the battlefield, lists some of the bigger planeswalkers in the universe, and then you can flip it over and it's got like, kind of a glossary of terms and kind of like basic rule sets, how to cast spells, how to start up your turn, how to block, how to attack, etc. One of these comes in every single deck, so looked at those before. I'm just going to toss that over there. And then if we pull out the actual box here, see that is a blue box for Simic. And dig down in here a little bit and you'll find a second pamphlet. This one is specific to Gatecrash. And pry that one open. And you've got your list of guilds over here on the side. And it kind of, describes the 5 that are in this set, and then there were 5 that were in the last set, and then I think all 10 of them are going to be in the next set, if I'm not wrong. Aside from the core set. It's like, hey, buy some booster packs. Hey, you're a planeswalker. Come play our game. Friday Night Magic, whatever ads for that stuff at the bottom. And then on the back, they've got a list of every deck in the set and a list of cards that come in those decks, but you don't get to see all the cool pictures and stuff, which is what this is largely for. So we're gonna toss that over there too. Take the deck out of the box, and gonna split this thing open, split it up into mana and spells, and then gonna spread that all out and kind of see what the spread looks like, and then we'll look at the booster packs too, see what came inside of those. I don't really remember. I think there was something kind of cool in there, but nothing like too amazing. So let's split the plastic off of this one. Again, this is Simic. And alright. Ta-da. So just gonna throw that in my ever-growing pile of trash over there. 60 card deck. Box is empty. Trash pile with you. 2 booster packs over there, each 15 cards inside of them. And I think probably the best way to get really detailed footage of this stuff is to bring the camera in a little bit closer. So before I start going over the various cards in here, I'm going to go grab the camera. I'm going to throw this stuff out, lay it all out flat so you can see specifically what individual cards come in here. Alright, so there is the layout of the deck, starting with 1 rare up at the top and then ending with the second at the bottom. Zoom in here on the mana. There's 13 blue mana and 12 green mana in the deck. And yeah, obviously it's a green and blue deck. So let's get started. The first card you'll see in the deck is the Fathom Mage. It is a 4-drop human wizard creature, blue and green, with Evolve, which is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And whenever a 1/1 counter is placed on Fathom Mage, you may draw a card. And obviously the boon of that card being that it's a 1/1, pretty much everything you have is going to have greater power or toughness, with the exception of maybe the Cloudfin Raptor that's coming up like over here. Okay, now the next card is a Chronomaiden. It's a 1-drop artifact creature golem. Normally it's a 1/1. You can tap 1 mana and and tap the card itself to put a 1/1 counter on Chronomaiden. So tap some mana and it continuously gets more powerful. The next one is the Cloudfin Raptor that I was talking about a second ago. It's a 1-drop blue card, bird mutant creature with flying and evolve. It's a 0/1 originally, so it comes out incredibly weak, but then obviously the benefit of that being that essentially no matter what you play, at least once it's going to get stronger and get up to be a 1/2. So you can swing over a lot of people's creatures with the flying for 1, or it's got more toughness than the average 1/1 once it gets boosted up to 1/2, which is nice. Next up, 2 more 1-drops. These are Kraken Hatchlings. These guys are tiny little Kraken creatures, and they're just super basic. They're a 0/4 creature, and they have no weird effects or anything like that, originally from the M13 set. And I actually like these guys just because their toughness is like weirdly high for a 1-drop card, with the flip side of that obviously being that they can't attack, but it's also going to deter your opponent from attacking for a little while, which is helpful. Or at the very least it'll block the attacks, since it can't really kill anything that attacks. Next to those guys is a Frilled Oculus. It's a 2-drop creature. It's a homunculus creature, and looks nothing like Envy or Greed. And it's a 1/3 blue creature, but you can tap 2 mana, one of which has to be a forest, and it'll get +2/+2/+2 until the end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. Next to that we have two Shamble Sharks. This is a fish crab creature. It's a 2-drop, 1 blue and 1 green, and it's probably, if you take a look at the art, it's probably one of my, let's see if I can actually get it to focus, there we go, probably one of my favorite creatures in this deck, even though it's just a common and it's not especially amazing or anything. It's a shark with a sword and a trident or something over there, and it has like crab legs, so that's like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, even as I kind of grow out of Magic, and kind of collecting the cards really obsessively, the thing that's really cool about it is just that creature design and how creative they can get sometimes with creatures and planeswalkers and all this lore that they're writing in at the bottom of the cards. But anyway, it's a Shamble Shark. It's a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 blue, fish crab, 2/1. It has flash, so you may cast this spell anytime you could cast an instant. In other words, you can drop that guy on your opponent's turn if you want to. And it has evolve, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, If that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And again, there's 2 of those. So, going down, we have the Simic Guildmage. Again, he's a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 blue. He's an elf wizard. He's uncommon, 2/2. Tap 2, 1 green and 1 blue, and you can do one of 2 things. 1, this turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Or 2, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature you control and draw a card. So that allows you to get a little bit flexible with how you divvy out your counters and stuff like that. Next, we have 2 Croconuras. I say Croconuras. It's a crocodile frog. Again, that's pretty creative and pretty awesome. Like that frog warrior token that you can throw out that they introduced with this set. I think that's super cool too. This guy is a 3-drop. He's a crocodile frog. He is getting up on that hummingbird. He has reach, so he can block creatures with flying, and he has evolve, which you know what that does by now. It's a 1/3 creature. Next up, we have 2 multicolor guys. These guys are Drakewing Cracises. Drakewing Craci, whatever the plural of that would be. 3 drops, 1 generic, 1 blue, and 1 green. They're lizard drakes with flying, trample, and they're 3/1. Next to them is the elusive Cracis. This guy is a 3-drop as well, same mana divvying up there. He's a fish mutant, 0/4, but he's unblockable. And then, of course, the twist is that he has evolve. So, the whole unblockable thing is completely useless at first unless he powers up with evolve. Next to him is the Crowned Ceratok. It is a 4-drop rhino creature, green, trample, 4/3. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has trample. So in a deck like this, that is fantastic. Next to him is the Ivy Lane Denizen. This elf warrior creature costs 4 to cast, and it's a 2/3. Whenever another creature and green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So yeah, that works really well with the Crowned Ceratok. Next is the Forced Adaptation. It's an enchantment aura. Costs 1 green to play. Enchant creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on enchanted creature. Again, that pretty good. Simic Guildgate is next. The Guildgate enters the battlefield tapped, but you can use it for green or blue mana. Merfolk of the Depths is after that. It is a Merfolk soldier creature. It is a 6-drop, but 4 can be generic, 2 can be either color of mana in this deck. It's uncommon, it has flash, and it's a 4/2. Yeah, that's all it has. Personally, I think it can be a good kind of like surprise. It's your turn and I played this thing and now you're dead. Like, play it during an attacking phase or something like that kind of thing, but I do not think that is worth 6 mana at 4/2. I don't think the flash is really worth it. Sapphire Drake is up next. It's a 6-drop. It's a big creature. It's a Drake, blue, flying. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying, and it's a 4/4. Next to that is Urban Evolution. It's a 5-drop, green and blue sorcery. Draw 3 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. Super helpful. Next to that is Leyline Phantom. It's a 5-drop blue creature. It's an illusion. And when it deals combat damage, return it to its owner's hand. But it's a 5/5. So, dealing a lot of combat damage too. Next to that, we have 2 Adaptive Snapjaws. This is a 5-drop lizard beast creature. It's green and it has evolve and it is a 6/2. So, kind of the thing that's good about that creature is since evolve is the creature has to have greater power or toughness. This thing's pretty strong in terms of power, but the toughness is low. So, you can throw something out there like the Croconura or the Drakewing Krasis, and that's, well, not the Drakewing Krasis, the Elusive Krasis is what I meant to say. And that's still going to power him up with 1/1 counters, which will be pretty helpful. Surprisingly helpful, I found, for a common card. Under that we have a Forced Adaptation. There's one of those over there too, so just put 1/1 counter on the creature. Bioshift is next to that. We have 2 of them. It's a 1-drop, either color, instant. Move any number of 1/1 counters from target creature onto another target creature with the same controller. Next to that is Tower Defense. It's a 2-drop instant. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until the end of turn. Very helpful. I've got 2 Simic key runes next to that, 3-drop. The mana effect by now, I'm sure. And you can tap 2 mana to make it become a 2/3 green and blue crab artifact creature with hexproof until the end of turn. Over there is Hindervines. It is a 3-drop green instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures with no 1/1 counters on them. Next to him is Encrust. It is a 3-drop. 2 of those are going to be blue mana. One of those is generic. It's an enchantment, aura, enchant artifact or creature, enchanted permanent, doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, and its activated abilities cannot be activated. There's another Encrust under there. Next to that is one of my personal favorite sorcery cards, Sleep. It's a 4-drop. 2 of those can be anything you want. 2 of those have to be blue mana. It's a sorcery. Tap all creatures target player controls. Those creatures don't untap during that player's next untap step. Maybe it's just because I like annoying people a lot, or it's because, I end up in a lot of games where it's kind of a stalemate, and if one of us swings one turn, then we'll die the next turn. But I love tapping everything everybody has, or tapping everything that my opponent has, and then just swinging away with everything. And then finally, the last card in the deck, the second rare card in the deck, is Unexpected Results. This is a 4-drop. It is a green and blue card. 1 of each is required to cast it, along with 2 generic mana. It's a sorcery. And you shuffle your library, then reveal the top card. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If it is a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield and return Unexpected Results to its owner's hand. So, obviously useful because, if you have something big in there, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. And if it's a land card, you just chuck it out and then you get this card back. So, you can essentially just keep cycling it out there until you get something that's not land, at which point you cast it for free. And it's awesome. So that is the entire deck, and I'm going to take a look at the Gruul deck next, and that'll be the last one. Alright, so that was the deck, and now we're going to take a look at the 2 booster packs, which I've already popped open, and I'm just going to spread these out, same style as before, and take a look at all the cards in there, just skim over any repeats we might find, and basically see what the rares are, because that's what most people are really interested in. So I'm going to gut these and start to show them off. So there's the booster packs. I see something I like in there already. That's a great angel. But let's start at the top with the Leyline Phantom, 5-drop blue illusion creature. There's one of those actually in the deck as well, so I'm just going to skip over that one. Then we've got Syndic of Tithes. This is a 2-drop white human cleric. He has Extort, which is the Orzhov ability where whenever you cast a spell, you can pay 1 white or black, and if you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life, and it's a 2/2. Next to him is Shadow Alley Denizen, 1-drop vampire rogue, 1/1. Whenever another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains Intimidate until the end of turn. I must have a million of those at this point, but they are pretty useful. especially in a black deck, obviously. Next to that is Grizzly Spectacle. It's a 4-drop black instant, 2 anything 2 black. That dude just totally has no head. That's messed up. It's an instant. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Its controller puts a number of cards equal to that creature's power from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Next to that is Mugging. Super simple card. It's a 1-drop red. Deals 2 damage to target creature, and that creature can't block this turn. Over here is the Syndicate Enforcer. It is a human rogue, 4-drop black with Extort. Oh, and it's a 3/2. Next to that is Burst of Strength. 1-drop green instant. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature and untap it. Next to that is Basilica Guards. It's a 3-drop human soldier creature. It's a white. It has Defender and Extort, and it's 1/4. Next to that one is Spell Rupture. It's a 2-drop blue instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Under that one is Simic Guildgate. Simic Guildgate enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it to add blue or green. Then there's the Boros Key Rune, which is a 3-drop, standard key rune stuff with adding mana to your pool. But you can tap 2 and it becomes a 1/1 red and white soldier artifact creature with double strike until the end of turn. Mental Vapors is the next uncommon that we drew out of the booster pack. It's a 4-drop black sorcery. Target player discards a card and it has Cipher on it, which is basically where you can exile the spell and encode it on a creature you control, and whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of this ciphered spell, and you don't have to pay its mana cost. Next to him is the Cinder Elemental. It's a 4-drop red elemental creature. It's 2/2. You can tap 1 red mana and X generic mana and the creature to sacrifice it, and it will deal X damage to target creature or player. Then we have Biovisionary. This is the first rare card out of the 2 packs. It is a 3-drop, 1 generic, 1 green, 1 blue, and it's a human wizard, and it's 2/3. But what makes it special is that at the beginning of the end step, if you control 4 or more creatures named Biovisionary, you win the game. So if you throw 4 of those in your deck and you manage to get them all out, and they're all out for the entire turn, and your end step comes around, then you win the game. I think that is a little bit of a silly or weird kind of move, because you're going to have to go through great pains to protect all those guys while they're all out. Just because they're 2/3s, they're not necessarily big targets in terms of dealing damage to take them down. So, people are obviously going to be trying to prevent you from having all 4 of the creatures out at the same time. And, since you can only have 4 of a creature in your deck at once, it's kind of a crapshoot in terms of whether or not you're actually going to draw all 4 of them during the game at all. Unless you have a lot of cards that let you search for a target creature. And, he's not hexproof or indestructible or anything like that, so you're going to want to layer all that stuff onto these guys if you get them out. Unless, of course, you have 12 mana out there and you can just throw all 4 of them out there at once. I hope that the opponent doesn't, play an instant that destroys them or something. So yeah, it's not necessarily as amazing a card as it sounds. I don't think I'm going to put it into any of my decks, but at the same time, it's kind of, you just win. So there is an upside to it for sure. And then I got an island card and a soldier token in there. Those guys are just the kind of standard junk that they throw into the pack. The Cloudfin Raptor is next to that. Pretty sure there's one of those in the deck, so I'm just going to skip over it and go straight to Predator's Rapport. It's a 3-drop green card. It's an instant. Choose target creature you control. You gain life equal to that creature's power plus its toughness. Whoa. So I did not know that was a thing, but now that I do, it is going directly into my deck that revolves around 4 Primordial Hydras, because that would be awesome. If I powered up the Primordial Hydra, its power and toughness double each turn. So eventually, I've already gotten to the point. Well, that zoomed in way more than I thought it would. It's already gotten to the point where I gain life equal to the Hydra's power with some of the instants I have in there. I've gained like 1,000 life. So if I gain power equal to its gain life equal to its power and its toughness, that's just kind of ridiculous. So we're on the last row here, and Contaminated Ground is a 2-drop black enchantment. Aura, enchant land. Enchanted land is a swamp. Whenever enchanted land becomes tapped, its controller loses 2 life. Next to that is the Xertos Wine. It's a 5-drop blue. It's a red and green boar creature with Blood Rush. It's a 5/4, and the Blood Rush effect is that you can discard him. An attacking creature gets 5/4 until the end of turn. Mugging is up next. Already did that one. So Bomber Core is next to that one. 2-drop red human soldier creature. It's a 1/2 and has Battalion, and the Battalion effect is that whenever it and at least 2 other creatures attack, but Bomber Core deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Midnight Recovery is next to that one. It's a 4-drop black sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It has Cipher, so you can fuse that onto a creature and effectively cast this every time you deal combat damage to a player, which is pretty nifty. Last Thoughts is next to that one. Dude, pulling some thought juice out of this lady's ear. It's a 4-drop sorcery, draw a card, Cipher. So, same deal. Dimmer Guildgate is next to that one. You can add blue or black mana, but it comes out tapped. Naturalize is next to that. It's a 2-drop green instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And then there's the Dimir Charm, which is a 2-drop, 1 black, 1 blue. Choose 1, and this is an instant. Choose 1. Counter target sorcery spell, or destroy target creature with power 2 or less, or look at the top 3 cards of a target player's library, then put 1 back and the rest into that player's graveyard. Urban Evolution is under that one. This is a 5-drop, 3 generic, 1 blue, 1 green. Sorcery, draw 3 lands. You may play an additional land this turn. That one was in the deck, but super helpful. Miming Slime is next to that. It's a 3-drop. Really like the artwork on that card. Just like slime, like a Ditto, doing his best Ditto impression. And it's a sorcery. Put an XX green ooze creature token onto the battlefield, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Then next to that, fantastic rare card here. Angelic Skirmisher. It's a 6-drop white angel. 4 generic, 2 white. It's flying. At the beginning of each combat, choose First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink. Creatures you control gain that ability until the end of turn. And it's a 4/4. So not only are you getting a 4/4 flying here, but at the beginning of each combat, and that's not even just your combat, but that's the enemy's combat as well. So you can choose Vigilance on your combat, swing away with everything, and then on their combat, your creatures will not be tapped, and you can choose First Strike or Lifelink and just decimate them. And then Plains and just an ad over there. So that's what I got in the booster packs. Overall, not a bad set of packs. Angelic Skirmisher is definitely great. Miming Slime and Predator's Rapport are going to go great in some decks that I already have established. Biovisionary is kind of dumb, in my opinion. So those are the decks that I got. That is the deck and the packs, rather. Thanks for watching this video, and be sure to come back for more later. Bye.